Hello world! Happy Thanksgiving! My name is Luann Pygott. You are in my kitchen on Thanksgiving. I'm wearing my Lime Life free apron. And I am going to make chocolate chip cookies, cinnamon apple cake, creamed carrots, and cauliflower casserole. And I hope you will enjoy the cooking session. So let me flip my camera around and get this here. We're going to start with the chocolate chip cookies. These are basic chocolate chip cookies. Some of my niece and nephews, they just love chocolate chip cookies. So we add those. So I'm going to start with a stick of butter, half a cup of butter. So there are a couple little things I do different that I'm going to show you. Because, you know, when I try recipes, sometimes I change it up a little bit. Alright, so we start with our butter. We will cream our butter, soften butter. Okay, you're going to add in half a cup of sugar. Now this is going to make about 30 cookies. Close to 3 dozen cookies. You can double this recipe easily if you want more. But I'm making a bunch of other desserts, so I'm just doing the one amount. Here's my half a cup of sugar. Add that in. Then we're going to add brown sugar. That is 3/8 of a cup. Now, what is 3/8 of a cup? That is 6 tablespoons. That's what it is. So I have a little 2 tablespoon measure right here. So that's 1/8. 2 tablespoons is the same as 1/8. 2/8. 3/8. Mix that in. That really well. I see some butter in here that is not wanting to mix, so let's scrape that off. It's not the bowl I have to scrape, it's the beater. They scrape that off the beater. Hold on here. There we go. All right. All right, let's do it a little bit more. Okay, so there's both sugars and the butter. Then we are going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Quarter teaspoon of salt. One egg. I've had my eggs sitting out so they're room temperature. There you go. 1 egg. Okay, 1.5 cups of flour. Now here's where some of the change comes that I do. All right, 1.5 cups, right? Okay, so now the actual recipe calls for 1.25 cups of flour. I add an extra 1/4 cup of flour because if you ever have cookies and you bake chocolate chip cookies and they spread out all over the place and that you can't get them to like be a little more firm of a cookie, and yeah, you need a little more flour. So I add an extra 1/4 cup of flour to this recipe, and that's how you get cookies that may not, whether or not that's accurate, I don't know, but it's how I get them to not spread out all over the pan and stay in a nice cookie shape. Okay, here's my flour. I lightened my flour with a whisk. You just stir it with a whisk so it isn't packed down. And this is a 1.5 cup measure. And I had a knife around over here somewhere. Here it is. So I'm going to scoop up a 1.5 cups. Then I'm going to level it off so I do not have way too much. So this is, remember, it's a 1/4 cup extra from what the recipe says. I'm going to dump my flour in here. All right, a little bit extra. What the recipe says. You will not have cookies that spread out all over the place on your pan. They will hold a cookie shape. That is what I want. And then you're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Get that done. Mix that in. Do it slow with the dry ingredients unless you want to wear them. All right, there's your nice dough. Look at that. Don't overbeat it once you add the flour, because the more you beat it with the flour, the tougher the cookie will be. So just blend it until it's blended well. Then here's my other little trick. This calls for 6 ounces of chocolate chips. I like a lot more than that. I like it really chocolatey. You want some real good chocolate chips? Put about 1.5 amount of chocolate chips is what they say. So instead of 6 ounces, I'm going to do 9 ounces. Yes, I am. Here's the other thing. I'm going to measure them. You don't have to be this exact. But, I have this. I can. These are the chocolate chips I like. You can get whatever you want. Ghirardelli 60% bittersweet chocolate. They're so good. Even if you don't want the bittersweet chocolate, get the Ghirardelli chocolate chips. They're so yummy. And they're like little pellets. I don't know why, but I love that little shape. They're good to eat. Oh, you know what I needed to put? Well, I just messed that all up. Hold on. I didn't turn it on. You got to turn it on first to get it to measure with that. So it will balance to 0 with that on there. Hold on. Okay, turn it on. All right, then we put in the chocolate chips. That is about 3 ounces right there. Oh, that's not bad. All right, so then let me get these Ghirardelli ones. Now, they don't come, this comes in a 10 ounce, so it doesn't really even come in the right size package. You get Nestle's. They come in 6 and 12 ounce. Ghirardelli decides to be different. But I want 9 ounce. I want a different, strange amount anyway. We're at 7. That's 8. We're almost there. Yes, you don't have to be this exact. I like exact. I'm crazy. Okay, there we go. 9 ounces. So that's 1.5 amount of what they say. These are going to be some chocolate chips. Now, if you like nuts, go ahead and add nuts. I didn't even write down how many nuts. Probably half a cup or something. I don't like nuts. That's why I don't put nuts in it. There we go. Now, these chocolate chips are good. Let me show you what I do. Uh-oh. I drop them on the floor. What do I do? Where'd it go? Can't leave it down for the cast again. Let me take you over here. Here is my sour cream pound cake. Look at that. Turned out so well. But it's in the way. So let me move it. Here's my pan. Now, I've got my oven on 375. And it says an ungreased baking sheet. Cookies actually do better if you use a baking sheet with no edges, which is what I have. Right, that is not working at all. There. You want the flat one if possible. It does work better. So, if you have the one with the edges, go ahead and use it. The world will not come to an end. So let me move this out of the way real quick. What time is it? I'm doing really well. Okay, so I'm going to clean off my beater. And this is how, let me show you how I like to do these. It's so much easier. So what you want is to get you a little ice cream scoop. What looks like a little ice cream scoop. If you want gigantic cookies, I guess you can use a regular ice cream scoop. But I like this size right there. So this is the size of a couple of tablespoons. It's not the smallest one. I think it's like the next one up. So it's going to be a little bit bigger. And then you take, let's see, can you see all that far over there? Not really, huh? There you go. So you scoop like this, makes them all the same size. It is fantastic. Okay, let's see how many this size is going to make. One. I love this big sheet cake pan. I got these at Walmart one year. Long time ago. I don't even know if they still have them. But it's where I got them. Then we will just place them here. Space them a little bit apart. Trying to get it even. I don't know if it's going to be too close together. If it is, and they're together, oh well. Let's see. I don't know if I can get these all in one pan. I may have to do two batches, but there's going to be a lot of chips in these cookies. You always look for the cookies that have the most chocolate chips in them. Which one's got the most chips on it? Give me that one. But this just kind of speeds this up a little bit, makes it just scoop it on there. Like I say, they're all the same size. You don't have to flatten them out. They do that all by themselves. I think I do want to put them a little further apart because I think they're going to run together. Just move them apart a little bit. There we go. And we'll just do it in a couple batches. Because these are a little bigger. Sometimes I use the small scoop. But I decided I would do the kind of medium-sized one today. A little bit bigger cookies. Hey, I think you could use the big scoop if you wanted monster cookies. You could do it. We're going to bake these at 375. See, how long does it tell you to make them? 8 to 10 minutes. So it doesn't take very long at all to bake them. Cookies are fast. Okay, so then we will do the other batch when these come out. Okay, and we're gonna go into the oven. Ooh, it's hot in there. We'll check it at 8 minutes. Turn on the light. Then I'm gonna take this cookie dough and I am going to put it in something else. Something very noisy, because I'm going to go ahead and mix up my cake. So I'm going to put this dough in something else. Let me get my scraper. It's because I need this bowl to make up my cake. Okay, let's see where we're at on time. What time is it here? It is 12:45. And I have on my list, I have me a list of when to start stuff. I have on my list to start the cake at 1 o'clock, so I'm doing really well. That way I don't run out of time. So I always put what I want. I make me a list. I put what I want to cook last. I put that on there first. And so then I backtrack. I put on my list, like, okay, I want to cook this last because I want it to be the hottest. And so then that's going to take an hour, or half an hour, or whatever it is. And so then I blocked myself that time. Then what I want to cook before that is going to take 45 minutes. So then I back that up 45 more minutes. And then, so I back all my stuff in there so I know when to start my first thing. Okay, so there's my dough. I'm going to go right over there. And I'm going to wash this in my sink so we can start our cake. I love to be ahead of schedule too. I just love that. Doesn't happen often. Wash this for hand. I usually wash, I always do. I wash this bowl. I always wash this by hand. It takes up too much room in the dishwasher. Usually I wash the little paddle part in the dishwasher. But if it's plastic and silicone, it can go in the dishwasher. But not when I have to go on to another recipe. Then we have to go by hand. Okay, so there's that. We'll let that dry. And we will wash our bowl. Get that. Okay, we'll just let that drain for a minute. See what we need to start with here. So we got 6 minutes on the cookies. Let me get out a spatula so I'm ready for those cookies. So you're going to let them sit on the cookie sheet for a minute before you don't try to remove them as soon as you get them out of the oven, or they'll just fall apart. Okay, so I'm done with my little scale. Let me put that away. Okay. Now let's move, return to our place of origin here. Okay, let me get my bowl and my paddle attachment. And the pan says it's ready. Make it all kind of racket. I'm going to go real quick and turn my air cooler because the oven is so hot. Turn it 1 degree cooler. I don't want to get too hot. Standing here by the oven. All right. So some of you are probably already eating your Thanksgiving lunch. That's great. We're doing Thanksgiving supper. So it's working for us this year, so that's what we're doing. There's my bowl. Sometimes we do that. As long as we get it, we don't care what time it is. But it's about, I'm going to be leaving about 3 o'clock. We'll be eating about 4:30 or 5. Okay, so next, for the cinnamon apple cake, I've actually made this about 4 or 5 times now. It is that good. So what I'm going to start with is you're going to mix together your eggs and oil. So we have 2 eggs. gonna crack my eggs. There's one. Oops, put that in there. This cake is so good. Great for coffee, tea, a little snack cake. Doesn't need icing. It's perfect for the season because it's cinnamon apple. Okay, there we go. Done with eggs. I'm trying to keep my stuff clean as I go so I don't have to come home from Thanksgiving with a big mess. So I'm putting stuff in the dishwasher with me as I go. All right, here we go. Okay, so then we're going to have, they don't put these in the order of that they tell you to mix them, which I think is crazy, but they don't. Okay, the oil is 1 cup of oil. I mean, shouldn't you list the ingredients in the order you put them in? This is so much easier. That way you don't miss anything. But no, they didn't do that. Here's my measuring cup, 1 cup of oil. This is canola oil. You can use whatever oil you want. I think any kind will work. Okay, 1 cup. This is what I usually do with it. I pour it in, and then I let the cup sit there. I like prop it up and let it drip for a minute so it gets all the oil. And I go put the oil away while it's dripping. Just be careful you don't bump it and knock it into the floor. That would not work well. Putting up my couple of ingredients here that I don't need for this recipe. Okay, that's pretty good right there. So we're going to mix that a little bit. Oh, we have one beep on the cookies. Then we're going to add cinnamon, white, and brown sugars. Okay, so we're going to have 1/2 cup of white sugar. Here it is. I'll say, where's my 1/2 cup measure? There it is. You can take your knife if you want, level that off. 1/2 cup of white sugar. Then you're going to have 1 cup of dark brown sugar. This is one of the few recipes that I have that uses dark brown sugar. Now, if you don't have dark brown sugar, can you use light? Yeah, you can. It just makes it a richer flavor if you have dark brown sugar. So let me get this open. I'll have to check those cookies. Hold on. See what they look like. They are not done. We'll go on with the 2 more minutes. They're real pale. So go on for the full 10 minutes and then we'll check it. That's an air pan. So what that means is it's a double layer pan. It has a layer of air between 2 layers of metal. So you know what that means. It never burns on the bottom is what that means. If you want to not burn your cookies or your biscuits or whatever you're cooking, you don't want to burn them on the bottom, get one of those double layer pans that has a layer of air in between. It's just 1/2 cup. I need 1 cup, right? I need 1 cup, so we'll do this twice. Okay, there's 1/2 of it. We'll do it one more time. It uses quite a lot of dark brown sugar. It is so good. But get a pan like that, but it also can take another minute or 2 to bake, but it is worth it to not burn the bottom of your cookies. So worth it to get that pan. Like I say, it's just from Walmart. There's 1 cup total of dark brown sugar. That's a fast 2 minutes, isn't it? Okay, so for cinnamon, we want 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. It's a lot of cinnamon, but it's a flavorful cake. Okay. here is a tablespoon of cinnamon, and then we're going to mix that. Look how dark that is. Looks like chocolate. It's not. It's brown sugar and cinnamon. Let me see how my oven's doing here. Oh, we got 2 seconds. 2 seconds! Okay, let me go over here and check the cookies. Ooh, they're looking pretty. Let me see though. I think maybe another minute. Maybe even 2. Let's do 1 minute. 1 minute, we'll check. Okay, so the next for the cake, after we do, here's my recipe. I found this online on a website called 12 Tomatoes. I have no idea why it's called that. There's no tomatoes in this. But this is the name of the website. Cinnamon, white brown sugars, and vanilla. Okay, the vanilla is a teaspoon of vanilla. So let's add our vanilla real quick. Then there's probably going to be time to check the cake. I mean the cookies again. Teaspoon of vanilla. Is that what I said? Yes, 1 teaspoon. I use real vanilla. I do not like imitation vanilla because it is bitter. Yes, real vanilla is expensive and it is worth every dime. It is so good. Use real vanilla, please. Okay. All right, there you go. We've got 4 seconds on the cookies. Take another little look. Oh, they're pretty. All right, let's get those out. I want to show you these cookies. Let's go back over here and do cookies again. Now, remember when I told you that the little bit of extra flour will keep your cookies from going flat and running all over the pan? Look at these. Look at the amazing cookies. These are chocolate chip cookies. Aren't those the most perfectly shaped, formed cookies you've ever seen? Look how nice and puffy. No flattening of the cookies. No running off. Now, if you like them flat, then that's fine. I'm not opposed to you liking them flat, but I like them like this. Just a little extra flour. An extra 1/4 cup for this recipe. A little extra flour is all it takes to get your cookies to do this. Then I'm going to take these cookies. Now, you do have to let them sit on that pan for a minute. Don't try to take them up, or you will get cookies that just fall apart on you. You got to leave them out of the oven at least 1 minute, maybe 2. Yeah, we need to go another minute, I think. So let me read my recipe for my cake. And then we're going to bake the rest of these cookies too. But see, they didn't run together. I don't have to pull them apart. Look how perfect. Oh, they make such perfect cookies. Okay, so next we're going to do vanilla. Okay, we're going to add flour, salt, baking soda, baking powder, and mix. I got to get my baking powder out. I got the other stuff. There's my baking powder. Okay, let me go back over here. I am going to let those cookies sit 1 more minute. Let me do 1 more minute here. So let's do 2 minutes. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I'm doing so well with time. Good. Come on. There it goes. There. Get my countdown to start. Okay, so I'm going to mix in. You can add to this, by the way, a 1/2 cup of walnuts if you want walnuts in this. But again, I don't do nuts. Don't like nuts, so don't add those. So I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. So here's my flour. I'm going to lighten the flour so it is not packed with my whisk. Just take the whisk and stir it around in there, and it gets the flour to not be packed down tight, which means it will measure better. I have a 2-cup measuring cup. I utterly love this thing. Got this at Walmart. Pioneer Woman. Then I got to take my knife, level off your flour. There's your 2 cups of flour. Okay, and I'm going to let this sit here while we go play cookies. Ooh. Okay, let's go back to the cookies. Okay, cookies, I'm coming. Let's turn that off. Then we're going to get our spatula. And we're going to try a cookie. Let me show you this. Oh yeah, they're good. They're good to go now. Watch this. Look at the bottom of this cookie. Not burned. Not even almost burned. No burn. Get you a pan with a double layer. You will never burn cookies. They're perfectly cooked. Look how good. And it's so hilarious that the chocolate chips are all on one side. But that's okay. That'll be a good side. So I'm going to put these cookies all the way over here. I have some racks over here. See? All the way over there. That's above my dishwasher. That's where I'm going with the cookies. And I'm going to scoop these up. Take them over there to cool. And then we're going to put some more cookie dough on this pan. Bake off the rest of that little batch I got there. Then I'm going to see how many cookies it makes this size. This was 20 cookies that I baked on this pan. This is one of the things I like about this real big pan is you can make a lot of cookies at once. So you're not making just like baking 6 cookies and that's all that fits. I like the big pan that you can fit a bunch of cookies on to bake. So much nicer. There we go. If I can get 2 cookies. Let's do 2. There we go. Speed this up just a little bit. 2 at once. Okay. Almost done. Ready for our second batch. I think I may have to taste test one of these cookies. We got to make sure they're not poison. Wouldn't want anybody to get sick or anything, right? You buying that? No? Mm. But look how well they come up off the pan, so you don't need to grease this. This is all butter. Okay, so here, let's get my pan back straight. Now, it might take the next batch not quite as long to cook because the pan's warm now. So sometimes that happens a little faster. All right, so let's start scooping. Plus, we won't have as many cookies on it this time. See how many we get out of it, of what we have left. Spacing them a little further apart just because I can. Because I know I don't have as much this time. So if you make double these cookies, it would probably be better for a larger family. Because this is serious. This is going to make like 30 cookies. If you measure them real well like this. 9. Okay, so it made 31 cookies. Look at that. 31! 31 cookies. That's almost 3 dozen. It's like 2.5 dozen. So if you want 5 dozen cookies, I would double the recipe. Okay, into the oven. Let's go ahead and set it again for 8 minutes just to look, since the pan is warm and there aren't as many in there. We are now done with that. Bowl into the dishwasher. Try to get that off my hands. A little sticky. And let's set the timer before I forget that. Check it at 8 minutes, 375. Okay. Let me move this flour out of my way because I'm done with measuring flour. Back to our bowl. Okay, back to our cake. So now we're going to put in 2 cups of flour. And then we're going to do 1 What does it tell me to put in here next? Salt. Salt is half a teaspoon of salt. So funny, they're actually playing Thanksgiving music on the TV today. That's half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, which is this one. I always get the aluminum free one. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, which is that one. I think everybody is so busy having Thanksgiving today. I'm so glad though. Okay. Flour, salt, baking soda, baking powder, mix, fold in the apples and nuts if you're using them. I'm not using nuts, but it would come after this. Looks so good. Look at that batter. Oh, looks like gingerbread, but it's apple cinnamon cake. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up an apple to add in there. And I use like a fresh apple. I use a Granny Smith apple because they hold up the best in baking, in my opinion. So you're going to chop up this apple. I use a large apple because to me, the more apple, the better. It's good. I get the biggest Granny Smith apple I can find in the store. And there it is right there. So let me go wash this real fast. Gotten now to where I even want to like wash my produce with soap. Because I don't know how many people touch that. And I'm not going to use the peel, so I'm going to peel that off anyway. So we will not have soap in it. Okay, let me get my little cutting board and a knife. Here's my little, it's really a little cutting board, I wasn't kidding. And then I'm going to just cut around here, get it started, and put that in the little bag, and then we're going to peel. You can use a potato peeler if you want to. I don't know why I do it this way, but I do. Always do it with a knife. Let's peel it all the way around. Huge apple. It just says to use, what does it say? One large apple. Yes, one large apple peeled and cored. So it tells you to use a large one. It is so good. It makes it so nice and moist with the apple. Whoops. I'm dropping peel. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pick it up. Okay, so then we're going to cut it in half. That, cut it in half again. This is just how I do it. You do it however you want. Then I cut out the core like that. However you can make that work. Sometimes I do it like halfway, flip it around the other way, do it the other half. When it meets together, it comes right out. I mean, if it breaks it in pieces, it doesn't matter because I'm about to do that anyway. Okay, one more on this side. What are we doing over here with the cookies now? How many minutes? Oh, 4 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. I'll probably get this done before I have to check the cookies. One more. If you have a better way of doing this, you know, that's okay. I'm happy with my way. Do it, whatever is good for you. Then I'm going to cut this in slices. And then I am going to just like cut it in chunks. I like to not make it too small because then you don't know it's there. You do want to know it's there. Then I'm going to take it and put it right there in my batter. So let's cut some more. So I like a chunk about like that. That seems to work pretty well in the cake. All right, there we go. Our apple is all chopped. We're now going to dump the rest of it in here. And when you mix this, you're going to see it looks like there is so much more apple than batter. When I first did this, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of apple. But remember, your batter is going to kind of, raise up and stuff. So it's good, trust me. Oh, we're going to check those cookies as soon as we mix this in. Okay, pretty much mixed in. We're going to drop that down. We're going to take out our beater, clean off our beater. We're now going to be done with that. Oops, I'm getting it everywhere. Please don't do that. And let's take it out of my thing here. There we go. Just move that out of the way. And then I clean this off because I want every bit of that. Yes, I do. So if you haven't tried making this cake, try making it. Very easy. You don't have to ice it. It's so good. It does not need icing. Say it's like the perfect coffee cake, snack cake type thing. It's really sticky because of the sugar in it. Really sticky. Trying to get it all off of here and it just wants to stick. I'm gonna go check those cookies, but kind of have my hands in a mess right now. But I'm almost there. Okay, there we go. That's gonna do it right there. I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm coming, Beaver. I'm coming. I'm gonna take you and let you check the cookies with me. So let's go look and see what we got. Here's our cookies. Okay, those are a little too light. So let's go a couple more minutes. Back to our 10. 2 more minutes. Okay, so while we're doing that, we're going to put this cake in the pan. Now here's what I do. Well, actually, I'm going to leave this in the pan. I'm not going to need to remove it. So I don't need to put down parchment paper. I'm just going to spray it. If I was taking it out of the pan, I'd put parchment paper out on here to take it out. But it's easy to cut this cake in the pan. So let's just spray it really well. Oops, I'm knocking down my measuring cup. Hold on. Sides, bottom, spray it really well. And that's all I'm going to do with that. Now, what time is it? It is 1:13. Oh, I'm doing so good. Because it'll be time to start our carrots. Actually, I'm going to do that now. So here, we're going to put this in the pan. While we're waiting, this is actually 2.5 pounds of carrots. It's just kind of whatever you have. I'm going to put this on the stove to boil. So I've got it covered with water and I got like a teaspoon of salt in there. And I'm going to, you see I've peeled and sliced them. This is how I start creamed carrots. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on high to start that to boil, and I cook it about 10 minutes till they're done. So it starts out like basic carrots. You peel them, you slice them, put them in salted water, cover it with water, turn it on high, let them boil for 10 minutes till they're soft. That's how you start creamed carrots. And I'm also going to start in here. I have a little bit of water and this straining basket. You can use any kind of thing like this or a double boiler. So I have just a little bit of water in there that I'm going to steam my cauliflower for the cauliflower casserole. Because that's like another thing I'm making. So let me put this down here. And I'm going to take, see, I've already cut up my cauliflower. This is fresh cauliflower. You know, you can buy cauliflower already cut too if you want. This is a full head of cauliflower. And then I cut it last night. All right, let me check the cookies again. Let's look in here again. I'll take you with me. Okay, those are looking real good right there. I say like 1 more minute. Because they are a thicker cookie, I want to make sure they're done in the middle. So I'm going to do 1 more minute, then we're taking those out. And then I'm going to put this cauliflower that's all cut up. Now you want to cut your cauliflower. Even if you don't normally like cauliflower, you might like this recipe. Cut it like bite-sized pieces, okay? Bite-sized pieces of cauliflower. Then we're going to put it in this pan. And I'm going to turn that on high as well. So it will steam the cauliflower. Cauliflower takes 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes to, you want it what they call crisp tender. So you want it tender, somewhat tender. You don't want it still to be crunchy, but you don't want it cooked all the way through. You don't want it too soft or you get mush. You don't, I mean, you can still eat it that way, but it's better not to. So you want it what they call crisp tender. Somewhat tender, but still really firm, because you're going to bake it some more in the oven. So you want to give it some more cooking to do. And then you have 1/4 cup each of green and red pepper cut into real tiny chunks. I'm going to put that in there too, but first I got to get those cookies because they are done now. So let me get the cookies out of the oven. Let me turn, well, I got to see what the oven needs to be on for the other. Look at these perfect cookies. Oh, they're so pretty. Look at those cookies. I might have been able to take them out a minute ago. I probably could have, but they're not burned. They're so pretty. Okay, so here we have, this oven needs to be on 350. All right, so let me turn that down to 350 because it's on 375. Okay, so 2 minutes for those cookies. While they're doing that, we're going to do, what am I making? Rattle noises over here. There's plastic sticking out my drawer. We're going to put this batter in the pan. So this is a 9-inch cake pan. You really want to use a 9-inch cake pan. 8-inch, it's not going to cook even. I tried it one time. No, don't. This one, you really need the 9-inch pan. Go get you one at Walmart. They got them at Walmart. 9-inch. They also have them, I think, at probably like Michael's. Get a Wilton cake pan or something that's similar to a Wilton cake pan. Not in the regular cooking aisle, but like where you find the wedding stuff, where you can make wedding cakes. That's the pans you want. The straight edge. And that's where you can find a 9-inch. So the cookies are just cooling. Because the way this bakes, it kind of doesn't bake evenly if you put it in too fat of a pan. I mean, you can still cook it, but you'll get, it'll be a little overdone on the outside, I found. And then it's a little dry. So you really want to put it in a 9-inch pan. Just trust me. Put it in a 9-inch pan. And this is so good, it is worth buying a 9-inch pan if you don't have one. So worth it. And I'm really making a mess with this sticky batter. It is so thick. And I hear the water boiling over there with the cauliflower. I need to go put the peppers in there with it because I steam those also. Alright, let me quickly go stick these peppers in here since it's boiling already. And I'm going to set that for 5 minutes and then I'm going to check the cauliflower. I'm going to turn that down and let that steam the cauliflower and chopped up red and green peppers. Those red and green peppers really add a lot of color, because, you know, cauliflower's just white. It's pretty boring. Peppers add a lot of color and real good flavor. I hope everybody is having a good time with some of their family today. I'll get to see a small amount of my family soon, the rest of them on Zoom. I'm excited about that. I'm so excited about that. That I get to see some more of my family I don't normally see. Even if it's not in person. Haven't seen some of them in so long. Okay, so here's the cake. And it's so sticky, it's really better to just kind of let it be, you know. However, it's in the pan. And let it, put it in the oven, it'll kind of melt down and be fine. Putting all of this over here real quick. I'm making a little pan of dishwater here. You gotta get some of this sticky off my hand. There, that's good. We're still waiting for that to boil. Okay, so let me take the cookies. Oh, this cake I am going to put over here in the oven. Right there. So that it's going to take, what was my time? It was about 1:30. Okay, that's pretty good. It's 1:20. I'm really doing good. So let's put this in for 45 minutes at 350 is what it says. Put that in there. I'm going to set this timer on my microwave. I'm going to set that one for the cauliflower. And then I'm going to set the one on the stove for the cake. There we go. All right, let me take my spatula now. And we're going to pick up these cookies and put them over here to cool with the others. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me show you this again. Look. No burn. Not even a hint of burned. This pan, you got to get this pan. Will not have burned cookies on the bottom. Not a bit. I'm just moving all these over here to the racks to cool. And this pan I have to wash by hand too. It will not fit in this one. It's way, way too big. There we go. And you know what? I'm out of room. This one won't fit on here. You know what that means? It means I gotta eat it. Let's try. Let's try chocolate chip cookie warm from the oven. Oh. Mmm. Oh, so good. Love those Ghirardelli chocolate chips. Especially when I put extra in. Okay. I got that going. Next, we're going to get stuff ready for the cauliflower casserole. Oh, you know what? I didn't get down my casserole dish. Put this over here. I gotta get that down this way. Let me show you. Here's my cabinet. It's up there at the ceiling. Yeah, that's him. Okay. It's just the right size for this. Well, I'm gonna get my little step ladder. And get that dish. This way, if I fall, you know, there will be evidence. People say, what happened to her? Well, it'll be on video. This way, that means nothing will happen, and I will be fine. I do this all the time. I'm real careful. Because nobody is here to know or care. So I'm careful. Like this dish right here, nice and deep. It works really well for this casserole. Yeah, see, perfectly safe. Got my dish and no falling. No evidence on video this time. It's got, let's see. And it's nowhere near done. turn it back up a little bit because I want some more steam to go in there. I'm going to take me a little drink of water. Okay, that means it's time to check the cauliflower, but I just checked, and he is raw. So let's go another 5 minutes, and then we'll check that again. Stuff is falling over here, making weird noises. Let me put up a few of my things here, putting up my sugar and flour, put up my dark brown sugar. Last thing I want to do is come home from Thanksgiving and have an entire kitchen to clean. Yeah, that's no fun. Alright, so I'm doing a little cleaning now. So I'm going to use this big bowl for the cauliflower casserole. But first, I'm going to wash this. I know this is not very exciting, but here we go. This is all I got to do right now. This is it. I'm going to put some of this stuff in the dishwasher. But this bowl I have to wash. And I usually, well, this ice cream scoopy thing, I'll put that in the dishwasher too. It can go in the dishwasher. And my paddle, since it's plastic and the rubber, or silicone actually it is, I'm going to put this in the dishwasher too. Just want to get some of the big chunks off of it. It's so sticky, that batter. This cake that I'm making is going to make the house smell so good. That cinnamon smells like cinnamon apple. Okay, so there we have. Let's get some soap on my cloth. And we're going to wash this. Wash out my bowl. Okay, I always wash this by hand. Turn off my disposal for a minute. Get that to speed on down. It's just water, but it still slows it down for some reason. Okay, here we go. Rinse my bowl. Barely fits in the sink. This takes up. I'm not real sure if you're supposed to even wash this in the dishwasher. I don't know. Takes up too much room in there though. So there we go. I am going to put my cookie spatula thing. I'm going to put that in the dishwasher. I know this is so exciting for you. Let's watch Luann wash dishes. Yay. Well, somebody needs to keep me company. There's nobody here. And then I'm going to wash my cookie thing. That barely fits in the sink either. It really doesn't fit in the sink. Kind of the corner of it does. But this, it definitely does not fit in the dishwasher. It barely fits in the oven. It's almost the size of my oven, but I'm telling you, it sure does cook a bunch of cookies fast. Then I'm going to get my bowl ready for the cauliflower when it's done. See, I can't even hardly get this in here to rinse it. It just takes up the whole... My sink is just not this big. I mean, it's a big sink. It's not big enough for this. Alright, there we go. This thing's the size of a truck. Alright. But I love this size. It's just so fast. Okay, so I've got that sitting there. See how big that thing is? It'll drain. Okay, so let's get my bowl ready. Take you back over here. I'm going to plug it back in real quick so I don't run out of power. So let's get my dish that I'm going to put it in. I'll set that aside. Let's get this bowl and show you how I get this ready for what I'm going to put in here. So let me get my recipe. Gotta find the recipe. Oh, I gotta put this one back in. And then turn my page. I took part of it out so I would have it over there. Let me put it back in. Alright, let me find, oh here, it's gonna be right here. I had it marked. Cauliflower casserole. It is so good. I normally am not a cauliflower eater, but with the cheese and stuff in here, yeah, you're gonna like it. You're most likely gonna like this, so try it and see. Okay, so you have 1 medium head of cauliflower and a 1/4 cup of chopped red and green peppers, which I have over here steaming. Oh good, my carrots are boiling. Okay, that cauliflower is still not done. You want it a little fork tender, but not mushy. So probably another 5 minutes that's going to take. The beans steamed and the carrots. Let's see what my timer says here. 20 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna, the carrots will take about 10 minutes. Okay, so here's my bowl. Now what I'm gonna put in my bowl is, let's see what I'm gonna start with. Yeah, that's what I start. Okay, so you want a cup of sour cream. I've had my sour cream out. This is actually a cup of sour cream because I used, it's a 2-cup holder, but I used a cup of it yesterday in sour cream pound cake. So I know there's a cup in there. Let me set that for 5 more minutes to check the cauliflower. So you want to take a spoon. I think I want a bigger spoon. Yep, bigger spoon. Stir this up. Is that the right one? Yep, it is. Okay, stir this up. And then you're going to put this in the bowl. Cup of sour cream. And I'm just going to show you how I do this, because I found this to work the best. Because the thing is, I'm going to have to mix this, and it's not actually really easy to mix. So I'm going to show you how I make it a little easier to mix. I think it's because the stuff I'm putting in here is kind of cold, and it just doesn't mix real well with the hot. I don't know why it doesn't, but you can get it mixed, but I just have to make it, it's a little challenging. So I try to fix it. Okay, so my carrots are boiling, that's good. All right, so then you're going to add a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So you can use any kind. This was the kind that was buy one get one free. That's what I use. I like this finely shredded, but you can get the not finely shredded. And then it's going to be about half this bag, so I am actually just going to guess and use half the bag. If you accidentally put in extra, it'll just be that much better. It's cheese. Okay. If you want to shred your own, they say that's better, so go ahead and shred your own. But I didn't. Okay, so then I mix the sour cream and cheese. Like this. And this is a big bowl because I'm actually going to need this big bowl to not get this stuff to dump all over the place. I'm coming to check my cauliflower. It's still not quite there. Let me get some of this cheese off my hands. Hold on. Okay, so then you're also going to need a teaspoon of salt. I go ahead and put the salt in now. It actually doesn't hurt to have a little extra, like a teaspoon and a quarter of salt. Okay. If you want pepper in there, you can put pepper, but it doesn't say pepper. Okay, so there's the salt. And then what you are now going to add is a half a cup of crushed cornflakes. Yes, cornflakes, the cereal. Now, sometimes in the store, you can find these in the baking aisle where you can buy cornflakes already crushed. Sometimes you can find it, sometimes you cannot. I could not find it this year, so I bought regular old cornflakes. I couldn't even find generic brand. I would have bought generic cornflakes. But, you know, in this times of pandemic, I guess they just don't have everything right now. So, I had to get regular old name brand cornflakes. But it'll work fine. So, I'm going to get a little Ziploc bag. And I want half a cup. Let me open this up. This is a lot of cornflakes to buy if you don't eat cornflakes, but it's really good. You could probably use crackers instead if you wanted to. All right, half a cup, I say, right? Half a cup of crushed cornflakes. I actually want to crush them and then measure them. So I'm just going to put a bunch in this bag. And then I'm going to smash them. This is our favorite part. If you have a little aggression you would like to get out, you're around your family and they're annoying you right now or something. Let's hope not. Put it in the bag, squeeze out the air. Then you can really just take and do this. If you want to smash it, you can smash it. Here, let me find. Let me check my cauliflower again here real quick. I do want to keep it where it is not getting mushy. We're good. Like you could take this meat mallet and do that if you'd rather. Or just do this. If you just want them crushed. I think it will measure different once they're crushed. Okay, that means it's time to check the cauliflower again. Let me set it for 5 more minutes for the carrots. Because then the carrots will be done. We're pretty good here. Okay, we're just about ready for it. I am going to leave it on just a couple more minutes. Because I really don't want it undercooked either. So I'm just kind of taking the edge of my meat now. Let's smash in these crackers. Okay, so then they don't have to be that perfect. Let's measure half a cup and see if we got that. You know, with these Ziploc bags, if you take and turn that down, it won't get caught on those zipper things when you measure. Then it'll just pour right in. If you have a little extra, it's probably fine if you dump it in too. This is a half a cup. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. So a little tiny bit more. That was a pretty good guess, I'll tell you. Okay, so then I am now going to mix this in. And then let me show you how I do this. Because this is how it works for me to stir it. Because see, this is a big lump. Even though I've let some of it thaw, it makes a big lump. And it is really hard to stir a big lump into vegetables. So what I do, once I get this mixed, is I kind of spread it up the pan. Like this. This is another reason I use this big pan. And it breaks up the big chunk of it. And it blends better. Trust me, it does. This is like the best way I've found to do this, to get it to mix. So I kind of spread it up the sides of the bowl, and then we're going to go get our cauliflower that's over there in that pan. And I'm going to take it to the sink, and I'm going to pour it through a strainer to get the water out. When you get that, here's my strainer. I know it's a little noisy. I'm going to pour. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to pour it. Let me check it one more time. Oh, it's like perfect. Alright, so see, it's no longer, it's kind of gotten to more of a creamy white, and it's soft, but without, it's a barely tender. Alright, so then we're going to pour it into the strainer, and it's going to just, that whole little thing, that basket thing I had that keeps it steaming, that falls in. I just have to pull that out. You get my fork and do that. Because it's hot. I'll use a hot pad. Pull out that little basket that I used to steam. If you don't have the basket, you can probably just put a little water in the bottom and just let it steam. It's just whatever is sitting in the water is going to get softer. Okay, get the water out. All right, so here's my cauliflower. Let me make sure you're looking the right way here. Here's my cauliflower and red and green pepper, so I dumped this in the big bowl. And then we begin to attempt to get that in the mix. And see how it stays lumpy? It's a little difficult. Now because this stuff is so hot, you do kind of want to do this hot. Because it will get that cheese and stuff to kind of start melting and be a little more liquidy. And I kind of just mush it. This is another reason why you don't want the cauliflower too mushy. Because I would just be smashing it here. You want it a little firm but not crunchy. That's a good description. Firm but not crunchy. But see how this stays in a big lump? You want to kind of just spread it. See, there's another big lump. So you don't want a big lump like that. You want to spread that through the cauliflower. And it's not incredibly easy. But it does, as you go, it does get softer. And just when you find you a lump, pick it up and spread it out. And if there's a little bit in there like that, it'll be fine. Here we go. This is so good. Then what you're going to do with this is you are going to bake it at 325 for 30 to 35 minutes. I think I usually do the 35 minutes at 325. And we do have to wait until our cake is done, which is another 26 minutes. So I'm going to get it all ready, and it'll just sit here until the oven is free, because it's on a different temperature. So let me get my pan. And this says you're going to put this in a greased baking dish. Right, that means, so I'm going to grease that. That means my carrots should be done. Let me check those. Get my fork and test my carrots. Carrots are done. So I'm going to turn that off. Now here's what we do with the carrots. Let me take you over here again. So I'm going to take the carrots. This is how you make carrots into creamed carrots. So you cook, basically you cook the carrots completely. So I'm taking this little strainer out. And I'm going to take this strainer again. And you just pour your carrots. They're completely done. Salted water, peeled and sliced. And you're going to pour them to get all the water out. Now you want all the water out of this. You don't want any water left in this. So you really want them to sit here and steam for a few minutes to help get rid of all that water. Then I'm going to take this same pan, I'm going to put it back on the burner. Now my burner's off right now, but I'm going to turn it on soon. So you can just look at that steam. Woo! Some hot carrots. They're so pretty. I love carrots. I love them in any way. I'd eat them like that. And then, while we're letting that steam for a minute, we're going to go back here to our casserole. And we're going to spray it. You could butter it if you'd rather. You don't really need a lot of spray. It doesn't stick real bad. But just barely spray a little bit. Okay? So then I'm going to put this in. We're just going to pour this in. Look how good that looks. It is so good. Cheesy cauliflower. Okay, into the casserole. I like to use this somewhat deeper casserole because I'm taking this in the car somewhere. If I'm not taking it in the car, you know, I can put it in a shallower dish, but things are just safer in the car when they're in a deeper dish. I'm not going far. I'm going 2 miles. 2 miles to my sister's house. 2.5 miles it actually is. So then you kind of level it out in the pan here. Then you're going to put 2 more things in here. You are going to, this is my mother's favorite thing, this cauliflower casserole. This is why I make it. It's her favorite. Eat that cheese. Yummy. Alright, you're going to get, let's see, what does it say, how much? 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I buy the kind that's already grated. And keep it in your freezer. If you keep it in your freezer, it will stay forever. It won't mold. And you can really use it straight from the freezer. I've had it out for a few minutes, but you can use it straight from the freezer. And I just guess, usually that's about a handful, 1/4 cup. And if you add a little bit more, it'll just be better. So you're going to put this on the top. That'll help it brown. I am going to add a little bit more. Parmesan cheese. Ooh. Now, the real cheese on this dish, like, you know, the real shredded cheese, this is so much better than the green powder stuff in the green container. Yeah, get the real Parmesan cheese because it melts like real cheese. It's so much better. So much better. And they already shred it for you in the grocery store. No effort. Just keep it in the freezer. It will never go bad. Then the last thing I do, and it tells you to do this on here, but this is optional, is take some paprika and sprinkle it on the top. This will just give it a little brown look. Doesn't really add flavor, it just browns it. So you just, there's no measuring. You just take your container and you sprinkle it on. So you just kind of get a little light coating. Paprika, basically, it's a ground pepper. And it will just brown your dish. It just makes it look pretty, basically. It makes it look pretty. If you don't have paprika, just leave it off. It really doesn't affect the flavor. But you can see how much I have on there. So then, you want to bake this uncovered. Okay, so then let me tell you about the lid. I got the lid down. You don't want to put the lid on this. You don't want to put the lid on this to bake, and you do not want to put the lid on this after you're done baking. Don't do it. Because what happens is when it's done baking, if you put the lid on this, it condensates enormously. And it will make so much water that what you're going to end up with is a soupy, watery casserole. Because I've done it. So resist temptation with every fiber of your being. Do not put a lid on this. Bake it uncovered. Take it out of the oven. Do not cover it. Take it to your destination. Eat it. And if there's leftovers, then you can put a lid on it. Do not put a lid on this hot, or it will totally ruin it. You will get nothing but water. And it will be soupy and you will not like it. So the key to this being good is do not cover it until you're ready to put it in the refrigerator and it's no longer hot. So bake it uncovered, take it to where you're going uncovered, put it on the table uncovered, serve it uncovered, eat it uncovered. And then when you're ready to put leftovers away, then you can get a cover. But no cover. Please don't cover it. You will totally ruin it with condensation. Okay, so there you go. Cannot emphasize that enough. I just cannot. Because it really makes a lot of water. It's really bad. Okay, so here we go. But I did get the lid. The lid is for me to bring it back home. If there's any left over, which I don't know that I will probably even, I may not even take that lid. Because if there's left over, I'm giving this to my mother because this is her favorite. So I will give it to her. She'll have little containers, like, you know, Tupperware or something. So I probably won't even take that lid because I won't use the lid. Okay, so now let's go back over here. Here we are. To the carrots. Now let me tell you a little secret of the carrots. I'm going to wash this actually real quick. Because it's got like carrot bits on the side. And it just doesn't look pretty. It doesn't hurt anything, but it's Thanksgiving. Let's make it look pretty. Alright, here we go. Let's wash that off. Completely clean that pan. Let that sit there for a minute. Here, you can look at this carrots. I'm actually going to dry this pan out because I want no water in it. Okay, I'm going to put this pan here. I'm going to turn on the burner on low to start. And I'm going to put all of these carrots back in that pan. Right there. Now that they have steamed and got most of the water out of them, I'm going to just put them back in. Did I drop one? No. Okay, good. Carrots back in the pan. Now, usually I make more than this, but we're not having as many people. I usually make twice as many as this. But we're not having as many people there as normal. Okay, so the other thing I do that my mother never did, and my mother is notorious for not adding salt to dishes. I don't know why, but she does not like to add salt. So I never added salt to this, and these things need so much salt. Oh, do they need salt. And one day I put salt in it while cooking it. Oh, it changed my world. Okay, put salt in it. I salted the carrots when I cooked them, which I always did, but it needs salt now too. They desperately need salt. Otherwise, you're going to be adding gallons of salt when you eat it. So I would put in at least a teaspoon of salt, maybe more. But we'll start with a teaspoon. We'll see how that goes. So, and that's 2.5 pounds of carrots. That's a package, the 2-pound package, and then about half of the 1-pound package, because I used half of the 1-pound package for something else. So that's what I had left. So I used what I had. Then you are going to take, this is the simplest recipe in the world. Simplest thing in the world. It does have one little trick. The little trick is the same thing as the other. Don't cover this. Don't cover it or it will never thicken. So you're going to take half and half. Open it up. You're going to cover these carrots with half and half. And you're going to turn it to about 4 on your stove, not high. Ideally, you don't want this to boil. This is a pint of half and half. That's about right for this amount of carrots. You just kind of want to barely cover them. And the trick is you got to let this simmer. It takes between half an hour to an hour, slow simmering, for it to thicken up. But if you put a cover on it, it is never thickening up, because it will steam, and it will just, you want it to thicken. And to thicken, it's got to be uncovered. And it will take a few minutes. Now, I did have that out of the stove, so it is not as cold as it normally would be. But it will take a minute for it to come to a simmer. You don't want to turn this on high. Don't turn it on high. Don't turn it on more than about 4. And ideally, you really don't want it to boil. Half the time, I miss it and the little stinker starts boiling. But if you can keep it from boiling and just have a little bitty simmer, it works better. So what happens when it boils is it separates a little bit and looks chunky. Doesn't taste any different. If it boils, you did not ruin it. It will still be good. It's just going to separate the cream a little bit more and look a little chunkier. But it will not taste or even feel any different in your mouth. It tastes the same. It feels the same. It'll just look a little different. I can hardly ever stop myself from the boiling. I miss it every time. I just do. But I try to not bring it to the boil. So the carrots, let's see, what time is it here? 1:30. Okay. I'm a little early. That's okay. I'm about half an hour ahead of schedule. I love that. So let's do this real quick. Hi! Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Just wanted to say happy. I'm looking for good lighting. It's not here. Let's just go around in a circle. While that's doing that, let me take you in here to my living room. I want to show you. I want to show you what I'm doing. Let's go in my living room. It's dark in here. I have my Christmas tree started. I have it up with nothing on it. That way, I didn't wear myself out one day. So tomorrow I'm probably going to decorate that tree. That is a 6-foot tree that I have on a box. So then I can pretend it's a 7-foot tree. Because I'm just going to cover that box anyway. Plus, it makes it a little less accessible to the cats. I mean, not that they can't get there, but it just gets it up off the floor a little bit. And I like it because it gets closer to the ceiling. And I think I'm going to decorate it on live tomorrow just because it's fun. Here's where I sit to do my makeup. There's the back of my mirror. There's my TV playing music. Here's all my stuff on my makeup. My chair. There's my little poster on top of, it's in front of my bookcase. And my little scarecrow. But I wanted to show you my tree. See, it's called a pencil tree. So it's a skinny tree. It's tall, but it's skinny. So it doesn't take up much room. See, it just fits in that corner. See, there's the edge of the wall. See how well it fits in that corner? Doesn't really stick out in the room, so it doesn't take up too much room for me. Let's go back through here. This right here, oh, let me show you this. Just because I know you saw it now. See that right there? That's my cat tunnels. It looks ridiculous. It's cardboard leaned against the wall. But they love it. And I've got a bunch of boxes at the end of the hall I've got to throw out. There, that's my need to break down the boxes stash right now. But yeah, I hate them there. It's just like I've got trash. But they love it. And I bought them the tunnels. You know the tunnels? They're collapsible mesh tunnels. And when they were littler, they loved those. Now they have to hunch down to get in them, and they're not that crazy about them. So I have the mesh tunnel thing. Cats don't really like it. As well, they like the cardboard. They like the cardboard leaned against the wall. It's how much I love animals. The cats are happy. I leave the trashy cardboard. It's not trash, it's just pieces of cardboard. But it looks like trash, doesn't it? But they love it. But if you come over to visit, I take those down. I take those down because it kind of makes me look like a box hoarder or something. But they were free. Free cat tunnels. And they spend half their time running in and out that tunnel. Back and forth, back and forth, back. They love it. So how can I take it away from them just because it looks stupid? I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yep. Give my life for the cats. Or the dogs. If I had a dog, it'd be the same thing. I love dogs too. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. I actually like dogs better because they're more lovey-dovey, but I didn't really want a dog in an apartment because then they bark and bother other people. I didn't want to bother other people. I had a neighbor lady that had a dog that barked and barked and barked and barked and barked and barked and barked all the time. I'm like, I'm not adding to that. It drives me crazy. I'm not going to drive people even more crazy with another dog. Plus, you have to take them out and walk them and clean up after it. And, you know, it's like, you know, with having to work, dogs a little more trouble. Cats are a little more self-sufficient, but I will tell you, my cats are lovey-dovey. My little black kitty, her name is Godiva because she's dark chocolate, like Godiva chocolate, because she's all black. She comes and lays in my lap every day. Every day she comes and she'll take her paw and pat at me, and she purrs and purrs and purrs, and it's because she wants to be petted and she wants treats. And then my other little cat that's a tabby, her name is Guinevere. I call her Gwinny. She's a little scared to get in my lap because my lap is not stable enough for her. She's getting to where she's getting in it a little bit more. She just, you know, she slips because my lap is not, you know, it's not flat. My legs move and they're round. And so she doesn't like that because it's not stable feeling to her. But she's getting, and man, I've had cats for over 2 years. She's finally getting where she will come stand in my lap and look at me like, am I going to die? She's so funny. She's very skittish. But she loves to be petted. And that cat loves her belly rubbed. And I don't think she knows cats aren't supposed to like that. They're supposed to be scared of having their belly rubbed. She doesn't know, so let's don't tell her. But she will come and lay beside me and roll over, like rub my belly, and she will hug me. She will put her little paws around my arm and hug me and rub her head into my hand and purr and purr and purr. I'm like, these are the lovingest cats I have ever seen. So people say that cats don't love you and that there's some of them I think are, but these are the lovingest cats I've ever seen. And I think God knew I needed something to love me. So he sent me these cats. And I'm telling you, they love me. And I love them too. So I ended up with some really good, somewhat doggish cats. I say my little black Godiva, she thinks she's a dog. She will chase. She has some little plastic springs that are her favorite toys, and I throw them, and she chases them just like that. She's a dog. This cat thinks she's a dog. She chases them, and one day she actually fetched it. She brought it back to me and dropped it at my feet. I'm like, oh my goodness, you are a dog. She will play fetch, just like a dog. It's so cute. So, if you come over, my cats are scared of everybody but me because they don't know anybody else. So if you come over, my cats are going to hide, and they won't come out for a few hours because they don't know you. But they know me now, and they are not scared of me anymore. They love me. They love me. And they are all over me when I'm sitting down in the living room. They're like, oh, Mama's sitting down. Let's go get on her and be petted and get some treats. Of course, it's probably because I get out the treats when I go sit down. And they're like, whoo, 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 treat time. Yeah, I know how to bribe cats to become loving cats. Worked, too. It worked. They love me. It's always nice to have pets that actually like you. I wasn't too sure when I got them if they would even pay attention to me, especially since they were feral cats and didn't really even know people. But, oh, they have turned into the most loving cats. Okay, I'm trying to keep my eye on this. Are you keeping your eye on this? I did turn it up to 6 because it is taking its sweet time. If you do turn it up higher to start, you just really gotta keep your eye on it. But these are going to be cream carrots. And I am washing this big bowl because this is really too big to put in the dishwasher too. The one that I mixed my cauliflower casserole, and my cake has 8 more minutes. And then once the cake is done, we can put in the cauliflower casserole. But I'm probably going to go because I'm pretty much done. I am pretty much done. And I'm done a little ahead of schedule, so that's good. I'm not rushed. I'm going to leave a little after 3 to go to my sister's house. We're just having a reduced small family gathering this year. Be 7 of us. But, you know, it's what we're supposed to be doing, right? And the rest of it, we're doing Zoom. Zoomity zoom zoom. Hi. Oh, hi, Michelle. I didn't see that till now. You're late joining. Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if you... Oh, you are still there. I see your little picture. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Okay, here, let me show you what I've been doing. I don't know how long you've been watching. So there's the cream carrots. I'm waiting for that to come to a simmer. That's half and half in cooked carrots. Here's my cauliflower casserole. It is not baked yet, but it's ready to go. It's got cheese, red and green peppers, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, sour cream. It is so good. It's got paprika on the top. But I'm waiting for the cake to be done. The cake's here in the oven. It's got 6 more minutes. This is cinnamon apple cake. I'm sorry, the window of my thing is so dirty. It's from just inside the oven. But it's, I don't know if you can kind of see it. The cake's in there. It's almost done. 6 more minutes. It's amazing how when you turn on your video camera, you look and see how dirty stuff is. Woo, it's like, oh, it's only dirty in there. Oh, well. It's just splatters. And here's my chocolate chip cookies. I add like half again as much as what they say to add, because I like some chocolate in my chocolate chip cookies. So this, instead of 6 ounces of chocolate chips, it has 9. Because that's the best part, is chocolate. So I have 1.5. Hi Jane, how are you doing? I have 1.5 times the amount. So here's what so my niece and nephews like chocolate chip cookies. That's their favorite thing. So I go ahead and make those too. And maybe not be Thanksgiving-ish, but they like it, that's fine. So there's that. Here's the sour cream pound cake. Oh, look how perfect. See, it kind of sometimes splits like this, but that doesn't hurt it. If you're going to cut this, you need a serrated knife, which we all have serrated knives, just like this. Yes, I'm going to post the recipes. I am going to post the recipes. Now, the carrots don't really have a recipe. So all you do with the carrots is you just get some carrots. That's 2.5 pounds. You peel them, slice them, boil them for 10 minutes in salted water. Then you drain off the water. Then you get this is a pint of half and half. Just a regular old half and half. Add a teaspoon of salt. A pint of half and half, and cover it. Do not put a lid or it won't work. And then what you're going to do is once it starts to simmer, you want to try to not let it boil. Half the time I miss it. If it boils, it just separates a little. Yeah, Aunt Jane, you love carrots. I usually bring these to family gatherings. Everybody loves these carrots. My mother found this recipe in I think Betty Crocker cookbook when I was a kid. And she has made these for holidays ever since because everybody loves them. Even if you don't normally like carrots, you'll like this. But what you do is you bring it to a simmer, a really, really, really slow simmer. So try not to let the cream separate. If it separates, it's still good. It just looks chunky. But you simmer it. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes of it simmering. You just have to do it uncovered, because if you cover it, it never thickens. And it will stay runny. And what it does is it clings to the carrots. And it is so good. But that's all. There's just no real measurements. Cooked carrots put on. You're going to make the sour cream cake. Oh, it's so good. Do a topping. No. You do not want... Now, you can, if you want to put strawberries or something on it, like a fruit topping or something, you could. But you don't need any icing. This top right here, look. Hear how hard that is? It's like a cookie. You don't want to cover that up. You're going to want to eat that. That's the best part of that, is the topping. Now, some people I've heard that put strawberries or whipped cream or something on it, but it really does not need it. It's really good with tea or coffee. And just make sure. Now, mine took an extra 10 minutes to bake. And it usually does in my oven. Takes an extra 10 minutes. Just make sure you stick a long tester down in there to make sure it's done. So, and don't be surprised if it takes a little longer. But it's really, like I said, really good with coffee or tea if you like coffee or tea. But no, you don't want to put anything on that. It's going to be crunchy like a cookie. It's so good. And then here's my chocolate chip cookies. And then I do have, I made this last night, pumpkin pie. I just use frozen pie crust because it's easy. There's pumpkin pie, and I have whipped cream for the pumpkin pie. And then the rest of everything, let me check these carrots again. Are we simmering yet? We're getting some little bubbles. We're getting close. All right, see how it's starting to thicken just a little? See how it coats the carrot? That's what you're going to get when it thickens. You're going to get it to cling to the carrots. So that's why you have to cook it to get it to simmer for a while so it clings to them. Otherwise, it just runs off of them, and that doesn't work. So you want it to thicken. But you just got to cook it real slow because you really don't want to boil cream. 2 more minutes for the cake. Oh, let's hang out 2 more minutes and we'll check the cake. See, here's my timer. Oh, 1 more minute. Countdown. Countdown. I can't remember if this cake takes longer or if it's done when it's, I've baked this like 5 times now. I've made this cake because it's so good. I can't remember if it needs extra time or not, but we're going to find out. I'm going to put that there. Here, let's put it over here. Let's put it there. There you can see my oven. You see my little festive Thanksgiving dish towels. All right, let me find my tester. I think it's over here in the drain. Yep, this is a tester. This is actually called a cake tester. You need something like that for that sour cream pound cake. My former mother-in-law gave this to me years ago, and I kept it. I kept several things she gave me. Don't tell. Okay, let me check my carrots here real quick. We got 5 seconds to check this cake. There we go. Let me turn on the light. Let me get my heating pad over here. Here we go. You do want a 9-inch pan for this cake. I have the worst racks in this oven. They don't like to slide out. Here we go. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, let's see. Let's see what it's like. See, it gets real done on the top, but let's see what it's like in the middle. I usually do it several times because I don't trust it. If I do it one time and it's clean, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This is an oil cake, and sometimes oil cakes take, rather than butter, sometimes it takes a little longer, and sometimes it looks like oily, and you can't tell if it's batter. There's a little piece of batter. I think it's done, actually. I think it's done. Okay, let me turn off. Well, I don't want to turn off the oven. I need to change the temperature of the oven. 325. Okay, we're going to put that on 325, which is lower because of my cauliflower casserole. I'm going to move that up there. Remember if that's hot or not. But I'm going to put that on a rack. Close that. Ooh, that's warm in there. And let me show you what I do with my racks, too. I take something like that. I like to lift. Now, they make racks that you can buy like this, but I don't have them. I don't know that they made them until after I had these. So I raise them up above the counter, because otherwise all it does is make condensation down here and hold in heat, and it doesn't cool. So here, there you go. I raise it up. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. Everything makes me think of a song. You raise me up so I can cool the cake. I make my own words too. There. Ooh, I'm just going to leave that in that. Sour cream pound cake I took out and put in a plate, but that's going to be easy to carry like that. It doesn't look like much. Oh, but it is so good. And since it's cinnamon and apple, that's perfect for fall. Perfect for fall. We are still not simmering, but we're getting bubbly. And we're getting thicker. But yeah, I'm going to post these recipes too. I got them ready. I got them ready to post. I just have to take a picture. Okay, come on, boil already. I could turn this up, but I'm really going to have to watch it. Okay, what time is it? Let me see what time it is. It is 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2:08. I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little ahead of schedule. But if you make that sour cream pound cake, that's going to be everybody's favorite. It's so good. The flavor of it, because it's butter. Use real butter. The flavor of it is so good. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like that cake. And it's not terribly, terribly sweet either. But it's really like a rich flavor. All right, come on, boil. How long will we watch it before it boils? I don't want to put my casserole in there too soon. I guess it is really about the right time, though. I want it to be hot. Okay, I want to watch that a minute. I'm going to go ahead and put the casserole in and set that timer. So it takes 30 to 35 minutes. As I recall, I usually do it the 35. 325. Vitally important that you do not cover this. Even when you take this out of the oven, I said it earlier, do not put a lid on this, or what happens is it's so hot it'll make condensation, and because it's cauliflower, it will make so much water that you will end up with a watery casserole, and it's horrible. So you don't, the only time you're going to put a lid on this is when you are done eating, if you have leftovers and it's cold and you're putting it in the refrigerator. But after it's done cooking, you cannot cover it, or it will totally ruin it. So you bake it uncovered and then you leave it uncovered. It's very tempting to put a lid on it, but you've got to resist. You've got to resist, or it's ruined. Because I've done it, and I'm like, oh no, it's soup. And it just loses the flavor. You need the thickness to have the flavor. We are almost boiling or simmer. You don't really want it to boil if you can help it. But we're almost, I don't usually sit here and stare at it like this. That's why I always accidentally boil it. But see how much thicker? It's getting closer to being thicker. But it does usually take about half an hour. Or maybe longer until it gets nice and thick. But I'm not going to stand here for half an hour and watch this. I'm just going to wait till it gets to the simmer spot, which is like right there. I've got it on 8 now, but it's because I'm standing here watching it. And once it starts simmering, I'm going to turn it down to probably 2 or 3. Because you want it, see, it is bubbling. It's bubbling now. You want it real slow. See those little bubbles? That's what you want it to do. And see, all that steam escaping is what's going to make it thicken up. So you can't put a lid on this either. So I'm going to head turn it down. And we got 34 minutes on the cake. Or, I mean, not the cake, the casserole. 34 minutes on the casserole, and then that'll probably be done about then, too. So we're going to let it sit there and bubble, bubble. See just some little tiny bubbles? That's it. That's what you want. Barely. I have turned my back on this before and come back to a roiling boil. And it doesn't ruin it. It just, the cream just kind of curdles a little bit. It doesn't taste bad, though. It just looks chunky. But if it does that, just still eat it. Because it's still good. Were you here when I was showing my tree? Or let me get this off the stand. I'll go show you my tree. My tree is not done. Here I am. My tree is not done. It's just up. So it's an artificial tree. I love a real tree, but my cats would love a real tree too. So I don't do a real tree. Since I've had the cats, I've done this artificial tree. And it's one I've had. It's called a pencil tree. So it's tall. It's a 6-foot tree, but it's skinny. So for an apartment, it's perfect. It doesn't take up the whole room. See, it fits in that corner of that place right there, and I've got it on a box, so it's a little higher. And then I can cover that box. But that gives me like a 7-foot tree instead of a 6-foot tree. And all I have to do is cover it with a tree skirt. And then I'm going to decorate. I'm probably going to decorate it live tomorrow. Just because, well, it's fun to do on live. It's not real full, but I put enough stuff on it that it becomes full. I got my Thanksgiving music playing on the TV. And I collect teacups. See, some of my teacups there. And I just leave that there. But I've got it set up, ready to decorate, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow. So let's go back. Let's go back and check my carrots. And then I'm probably going to go because I am pretty well done. And let me show you what I've been doing too. I got stuff all over the counter here. I've been doing a little craft. This is from the Dollar Tree. I've been painting him. Isn't he cute? But it was coming loose. I had to glue the part of his hat back. So that's why I had a brick sitting on it. I re-glued it. But I painted some of it. See, it just comes like that. There's something fun to do. Go do something fun. So I painted Santa. I've also got one of these. Let's see. I haven't done this one yet. I got to paint this one too. This gives me something fun to do. See? Dollar Tree. And I've been looking up. I can do pretty good painting if I have like some inspiration. I did Did I do my face live? Yes, I did. I did my face live right before I cooked. It was about 11 a.m. And so, it's so cheap. And I do good if I have something like an inspiration. So I've been Googling like painting wooden ornaments until I found something I liked and thought, okay, I can copy stuff. I'm going to copy that. So see here how it's getting a little foamy, a little bubbly. All right, see how it's clinging to the carrots right there? That's going to be good. So when it thickens, it clings. And then you have cream carrots. Even if you don't normally like carrots, you might like cream carrots. Try it and see. You just got to get the cream thick by letting it simmer for half an hour or so. And you just barely cover it. There you go. All right. I am done. So I am going to go. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I think I'm done with lives for today. I think I'm pretty well. Oh, but you know what? I got my Lime Life apron on. When I go to my sister's with my parents, I will probably do a live there just to show you. And not just you, but the rest of my family and stuff will get to see people they don't normally get to see because they're not visiting much right now. So I'll probably do a mini live at Thanksgiving at my sister's house just to kind of show, here's my family. Here's part of my family. It's just part of my family. But the part that I am hanging out with today, so I'll do like a live during Thanksgiving for that. And until then, may you have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the recipes. Happy Thanksgiving, Heather. Thank you for stopping by. I'll show you again real quick. This is the last thing I'm working on since you stopped by. Here we go. Get it to flip around. My creamed carrots that I'm making. They got about half an hour to go. My apple cinnamon cake. Oh, that's so good. That doesn't need icing either. My chocolate chip cookies with 1.5 amount the chocolate chips in them. I always put more chocolate chips than they say. And my sour cream pound cake. That's my grandmother's recipe. That's probably from like the 1940s. I don't know how long she had it, but probably at least that long. It is so good. I made all these on live and have all the recipes posted too. So that's my portion that I'm making. We're having a lot more food than that, but that's my part. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Talk to you again later. Bye.